These are the best traffic sources for your high ticket dropshipping store. We're going to be ranking them from S tier to D tier. S tier meaning you basically have to run them in order to have a really profitable store. D means you don't really have to run them. They might add extra revenue, but it's really not worth the effort. So let's just jump right into it. So meta ads, that goes over Facebook and Instagram. Now, for high ticket dropshipping, you don't really want to use this for cold traffic. That's really not my specialties. This meta ads works really well for retargeting purposes. I get, I think, around like a 50 to 80x return ad spend with just simple remarketing dynamic product ads through Facebook. So, for that purpose, it's super simple, relatively simple to set up, but it's basically a necessity because like remarketing is super profitable. You essentially just want to have it. So I'm actually going to rank Facebook, aka Meta Ads, at A tier. Next is going to be Pinterest. So Pinterest, this is not going to be Pinterest ads. I don't really ever run Pinterest ads, but Pinterest organic actually drives a couple sales every single month for me. My Pinterest account gets, I think, 1 to 2 million monthly organic views, and that's views, just Pinterest pin views. It's not actual clicks, so it's not that valuable, even though it seems like a lot on paper. It gives a few sales every single month, so for that purpose, it's pretty easy to do. It's so I'll put it at B tier. Next, it's going to be YouTube ads. Now, YouTube ads really don't want to use for cold traffic again, at least initially. YouTube ads really have a play in terms of remarketing, and attribution with YouTube ads is pretty terrible. So in terms of YouTube ads, I would personally put it around a B tier, just because the attribution is really hard to tell if it's actually working or not. I would say it does, just because it's remarketing is always going to be pretty profitable. It doesn't matter what channel. Bing ads. Now, obviously, this is cold and remarketing purposes, but Bing ads definitely I would usually put at S tier because it's actually pretty cracked. But recently, it actually hasn't been that good of a performance. The shopping funnel structure that I used previously no longer works on Bing for whatever reason. Like the keyword structure would just fumble. Now I used that same structure on like 5 other different accounts, and some accounts work and some accounts don't, and it's really frustrating with Bing that the search term reporting is really awful, that you can't really see what's actually going on. Like if you know anything about the shopping funnel and how we set it up, the medium funnel campaign should definitely have brand terms, and a lot of times they're generic terms that just flow into there, even though you imported the campaigns from Google or you set them up manually. Doesn't make sense. So for Bing ads, I would probably put it at C tier. Uh, right now, I really don't spend much on Bing, just Bing search campaigns, because there's nothing wrong with it, except that Bing search campaigns, if you use phrase match, I would say 50% of the search terms or the keywords that you target, 50% of the search terms don't actually correlate with the search keywords that you're targeting. So you need a lot of negative keywords on Bing to actually get it to be profitable, which is pretty hilarious. But search ads, once you dial it in, which could be a couple months before you do, then it could be pretty decent. But I really don't like Bing ads. Yeah. So Google display ads. So display traffic, if you just set up a normal display traffic, you get a bunch of junk display placements that will just blow through your budget and give you nothing in return. Now, even if you exclude it, it can work, but most of the times it just either the attribution is really bad or it's just junk quality traffic and it's really not worth running. Even if you were to run it, it would be at a really low budget just for simple remarketing purposes. I really don't like display ads just because it's the traffic that comes from it, even if it's on good placements, is just low quality, even for remarketing. Because like a lot of times they show up on like calculator apps, they show up on blogs where people have no interest of really, interacting with your ad. So display ads, I'm gonna put at D tier. Really don't like them. Personal experience. Google Shopping ads. Now I love Google Shopping ads just because it's a great way to test keywords and see what works for your brands that you're advertising. Now I would say Google Shopping is S tier. There's another S tier that I'm going to put in a little bit, but in terms of the type of S tier, Google Shopping ads are really powerful. It's based on image, based on price. It's very straightforward. Shopping ads really easy to set up, and it's a great way to advertise your large catalog. I would probably put it at S or A tier, just because there is one of these that trumps it. SEO. So SEO, normally I would put at S tier. Now, I would say it's very volatile now because some of my sites been hit with updates, and I wouldn't say they were like doing anything wrong or anything like that. But SEO, it is volatile. If you know what you're doing, I guess you could be okay with it. But SEO traffic, in terms of the traffic sources, I would put under Google Shopping, just because SEO traffic is great once you have it rolling in, but it just takes forever, and it's also kind of boring at times. I'm a more fan of the Google Shopping and Google Search, which is the next one. So Google Search campaigns, my favorite ad type out of all of these on this list, and I would put this number one just because this is my specialties. This is my cup of tea. I love search ads because it's very logical. Like, you target keyword, you give it a landing page, you write the ad copy, you make all three relevant, you get a high quality score, and you absolutely rip. So 80% of my search budget, or 80% of account budget, is really just spent on Google search ads, just because these are very, very powerful, very high intent. Even though they're higher CPC, you can essentially make a CPC or target the keyword and give it a CPC that you want to pay for that keyword. And you'll eventually want to target every single keyword that shows up. So I would say you need the shopping ads to see what keywords work, but you could still run it without the shopping ads results. And a lot of times I do. And then the shopping or the search ads helps find more keywords. Now, there are something called dynamic search ads, and I do run them, but really not for cold. After, what I do is, like, I run the manual search ads, and then the dynamic search ads I use to find other keywords that the manual search ads hasn't picked up. So that's really the ranking right now. Shopping right under search. I love search ads. Really my favorite campaign type out of all of them. Now, last one is going to be organic posts. So on Instagram, that's probably what the image is about. But just organic posts on YouTube, just posting on your social media. This has more, I think this is more and more important over time, just because everyone's just looking at the paid ads side. Obviously, this is not going to convert, like someone's going to watch a video of something and they're going to buy a $5,000 item from you. It's a good way as a touch point and trust building. That's where I see it. They're like very top of funnel, which is important if you want to like build trust around your store. So in terms of this, I would put it right in terms of B tier. Like, these organic channels, this is not organic obviously, but this is actually pretty underrated. Like, I would have some sort of Instagram account like I do for most of my stores, and just post on there regularly. I remember early on in my journey, I lost a few sales because I did not have any sort of social media presence. And that's why it's very important to have some sort of Google or just social media presence. So that's really it for the advertising / traffic sources that you should be using for your high ticket dropshipping store. I would ditch display network. I would not. You don't even need to use Bing, even though for some people Bing is working well. But I would just put the prioritization. Start with these two, which is the best money maker on cold traffic. SEO Meta, also very good. And then these are secondary organic channels paired up with remarketing, and then Bing ads. So is essentially, I want to start with S down to C, and then display network you don't really ever need to run, just because I don't really like it's just the traffic's not great quality there. But I could be wrong on a display network. I don't really have that much spend on display networks compared to search and shopping. But that's really it. I hope you guys took away value from this. If you want to work with myself and my business partner one-on-one on building a high-ticket e-commerce store from 0 to 10K a month profit guaranteed, then there's a link down below to apply for coaching. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.